Good morning. You're listening to the Gathering Place radio show. This is John Piper. I'm the pastor of the Gathering Place. We're creating opportunities to build relationships, and when we do that, we're involved in building God's kingdom. Psalms 118:24, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. When people tell you have a good day, every day is a good day because the Lord made it. Let's rejoice and be glad. Every Friday, I write a column for the religious page in the Record Herald. If you've not yet read it, pick up a paper, check it out. Friday's article was manipulation. Let me read it to you. Most children will go to the easiest parent to get their way. The process that they seem to learn without being taught is to work one parent against the other. If you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. How many times have you heard, Daddy said it's okay with him, when Daddy really said, ask your mother? When I would tell my children to ask their mother, I wasn't necessarily saying that it was okay. Usually the reason I wanted them to ask her was that she might have a stronger or more informed opinion of the issue at hand. Many times their mother had already told them no, and they thought that telling her Dad said it was okay would get them what they wanted. Sometimes it goes the other way, and they work Mom against Dad. This seems to be a little thing, but this is probably the place where manipulation starts in our life. Even though it seems quite harmless on the surface, it can ruin your life if it continues. To bear false witness is wrong in every culture. That is precisely what a child is doing when they say it's okay with Dad, when Dad said, ask your mother. They're taking something that one parent said, they're bearing it, and then they twist it, which is false witness, to be what they want it to be. The history of our civilization testifies to the fact that anything built on a lie will fail. To manipulate a situation, you have to bear false witness, and when you bear false witness, it's a lie. Have we in some way developed the thought that manipulation is not like telling a lie? What would lead us to think that way? Is it because we want our way regardless of the cost? Do we truly know that there is a price to pay and that manipulation in the process ruins it? Do you believe the truth will set you free? Exodus 20, verse 1. God spoke these words saying, then he gave the 10 commandments to Moses, and down in verse 16 it says, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Deuteronomy 19:16. If a false witness raises against any man to testify against him of wrongdoing, then both men in the controversy shall stand before the Lord. And the judge shall make diligent inquiry, and indeed, if the witness is a false witness who has testified falsely against his brother, then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother, and you shall put away the evil person from among you. Proverbs 12:17. He who speaks truth declares righteousness, but false witness is a deceit. Proverbs 6:16. These 6 things the Lord hates. Yes, 7 are abomination to him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among the brethren. Proverbs 19:5. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will not escape. Proverbs 29:12. If a ruler pays attention to lies, all his servants become wicked. Matthew 7:26. Now everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them, Jesus is speaking, will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain descended, the floods came, the winds blew, beat that house, it fell down, and great was its fall. On the other side, verse 24 says, therefore whoever hears these words of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on a rock, and when the rain and the winds and the flood came, it did not fall. Deceit will ruin your life. If there's any manipulation in your life, ask the Lord to forgive you and never do it again. That's the word for this morning. Our very special guest is Jessica Leisure. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
It's so good to see you here this morning. And I ask you a few questions, and people out there can know a little more about you, okay? They might not know you. Let us know if you've lived in Washington Courthouse your whole life.
I have, all 28 years.
Did you go to
Miami Trace High School.
Miami Trace? Mm-hmm. Very good.
I graduated in 02.
02?
Yes.
With honors?
Maybe.
Do you have a family?
I do. My husband, Sean. We have 3 children, Branson, 19, Lauren, 8, and Olivia, 3.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
You got a big family.
Yes, we do.
What's your profession?
I work at Fifth Third Bank here in Washington Courthouse.
How'd you get involved in that?
Brittany Pfeiffer.
Brittany got you in, huh?
Yes, she did.
You know, it's nice to know somebody.
Yes, it is. Very nice, especially the Pfeiffers.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kind of took me off balance there. Relationships are so important.
That they are.
You know, the Lord said, when they asked Jesus what the first commandment was, he said, love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and mind. He said, second's just as like the first, love your neighbors yourself. So this thing's all about relationship with Jesus and relationship with each other.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure glad to have a wonderful family relationship with you.
Thank you.
Jessica.
Thank you.
Tell us how you invited Jesus into your life.
Well, let's see if I can get through this without crying. Sorry.
It's okay, Jessica.
I was brought up in a church. I strayed, was divorced at 23. Going down the completely wrong path that I knew was what my parents taught me not to do. And then I met Sean. He brought me to the gathering place. My life hasn't been the same since. We went to Open Door, and your brother actually asked the question on Easter, if you got in a car accident on the way home today, would you know where you were going? And at that point, I was 6 months pregnant, no clue. So that's the day I rededicated my life to the Lord. And I know where I'm going now. And if it wasn't for everybody here at the gathering place, I would be lost. And I thank my husband for bringing me here. I thank Scott and Sherry Pfeiffer for inviting me to Open Door that day, because I don't know if I would have recommitted my life that day. So, but I am blessed and highly favored.
I know that this is kind of a wide open question, but since you've been saved, what's the biggest thing that's changed in your life? Because people are put together with certain personalities and certain traits, and God doesn't totally change us from being who we are.
Right.
So what in your life that you could lay your finger on has been probably the biggest change?
Unforgiveness. The friends that I had before church, I thought would be my friends forever. But once you have children and you stop going to the bars, stop doing the things you were doing, you completely lose everybody. But I have to forgive. And maybe one day they'll be where I'm at and know why I did it.
Yeah.
So I forgive. I love everybody. Life's too short.
It is. Well, I know what you're talking about, being out of the bars. Mm-hmm. And I can say one thing. I wish I'd have done it quicker.
Yes.
And I wish everybody knew that peace and that presence that we know when we allow Jesus into our heart. What new truth at this time is the Lord pointing out in your life? Because the Lord brings us in levels and stages, and He takes us to different places. And He's always leading us. And I found out one thing in His Christian experience, we're always moving forward. If we stand still, we get cold.
Right.
So as you're moving, and I know you're moving forward.
I am.
I can tell.
Yes.
What's he showing to you?
It's all in his timing. You know, I got a new job. It was in his timing. I prayed and prayed and prayed. Just keep praying and pressing forward. And that's what I have to keep doing. I can't get brought down by Satan, which every day we all deal with that. But I pray. I love everybody. And we will get through this.
Yeah, the word says that to everything there's a season. And that's our lives too. That's different things in our lives, and we go through different seasons at different times. And just as you can never learn anything when you're talking, you can never know God's direction unless you're listening.
Right.
Many times that listening has to come through times that we're slowed down, that the brakes are put on, that we're waiting and watching for something. And it is amazing how God will speak to us in those times, isn't it? And then you look back at all the times that we worried and fretted, and it was for nothing. Because God always comes through.
Absolutely, he does.
It's a wonderful testimony, Jessica.
Thank you.
Maybe you're out there this morning and you're going through times that you don't understand at all. Your life is in disarray and disorder, and you don't know the answers. I'm going to ask you to invite the Lord Jesus into your heart. He just said, believe on me and accept me into your life. Know that he's God. Ask him to forgive you of your sins and help you to do better. He'll do it, and you'll have a new life, and you will be shocked what's going to happen. You still have time to jump in the shower and be with us this morning at 10:30 at the Washington High School Gymnasium. We have coffee, juice, donuts, and all the good things that we'd like to give you. Join us on Wednesday evening downtown on the 3rd floor above Trends at 120 West Court Street. We have a weekly Bible study there. If you've enjoyed this radio show, tell your friends. Join us next week right here at the same time on Buckeye Country, 105.5 FM WCHO. Check us out on Facebook at The Gathering Place. Keep loving Jesus and loving each other.